For days after the murders, smoke is still rising from the chimney. Neighbors see it and think nothing of it. Inside that farmhouse in Bavaria, 6 people lie dead in the barn, hidden under straw. And someone is still living in their kitchen, cooking their food, feeding their cows, sleeping in their beds. Investigators will later piece together that the killer did not run. The killer stayed. March 1922. The farm sits alone outside a village near Ingolstadt in southern Germany. Locals call it Hinterkaifeck. It's not a town. It's just one house, a barn, a few outbuildings, surrounded by fields and forest. The nearest neighbor is a walk away. 6 people live there. Andreas Gruber, 63, owns the land. His wife, Kazilia. Their adult daughter, Victoria, a widow. Her 2 children, a 7-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy. In the weeks before the murders, strange things start happening. Andreas finds footprints in the snow. They lead from the edge of the forest to the farmhouse. But they don't lead back. Accounts suggest he tells neighbors about it, unsettled. Then a newspaper turns up on the property. Nobody in the house recognizes it. Nobody remembers buying it. Then the attic. Victoria and her father both report hearing footsteps up there at night when everyone in the house is accounted for. And a set of house keys goes missing from where it always hangs. Andreas mentions all of this to people in the village. He even asks a few men to come stay at the farm for a few nights, just in case. None of them do. It doesn't seem worth the trouble. Whoever is watching this family does not get scared off. And within days, everyone in that house will be dead. March 31st. A new housemaid arrives at the farm. Her name is Maria Baumgartner, 44 years old. The previous maid quit weeks earlier. She told people she'd heard footsteps in the attic and felt like something was wrong with the place. Maria doesn't know any of that. She's just starting a job. She unpacks her things. She meets the family. That night, she goes to sleep in her new room, in a house with a family she's known for a few hours. It is the last night any of them will be alive. Sometime after dark, someone walks onto the farm. Someone who, if the footprints and the missing key mean anything, may have already been watching this family for weeks. One by one, in the barn and inside the house, all 6 people are killed. The weapon is a mattock, a farm tool used for digging, essentially a heavy pickaxe. It is a brutal, close, physical kind of violence. Whoever did this was not far away when it happened. And when it's over, the killer does not leave. For days, nobody notices anything is wrong. That's the horror of living somewhere this remote. No one walks past to see the house is quiet. No one wonders why the children aren't playing outside. On April 4th, for days after the killings, neighbors finally grow concerned. The family hasn't been seen. Nobody has come into the village. A small group walks out to the farm to check on them. What they find first is the barn. Inside, hidden beneath loose hay, are 4 bodies. Andreas, Kazilia, Victoria, and her 7-year-old daughter, all bludgeoned. Then, inside the farmhouse itself, they find the last 2 victims. The 2-year-old boy, killed in his bed, and Maria, the maid, on her first and only night in this house. 6 people, all killed with the same brutal weapon. The investigators who arrive afterward begin working through the scene, and that's when the timeline starts to unravel in a way nobody expects. Because the murders happened 4 days earlier, but someone was here far more recently than that. Investigators start reconstructing what happened after the murders, and the details are hard to sit with. The livestock is alive, federal watered. Someone has been going out to the barn, tending the cows, keeping them from suffering or drawing attention with their cries. Neighbors later recall seeing smoke rise from the farmhouse chimney on multiple days after the killings. Some accounts suggest as late as the day the bodies were actually found. Inside the kitchen, investigators find food that's been prepared and eaten. Dishes used. A fire kept going in the stove. Someone was in that house, cooking meals for themselves, while the family they had just murdered lay hidden under straw a short walk away. Even the family dog, tied up outside, appears to have been dealt with rather than simply left. To the investigators standing in that kitchen, one conclusion becomes unavoidable. This was not a robbery gone wrong. Some stranger who panicked and fled. Whoever committed these murders had a reason to remain. Long enough to manage the animals for days. Long enough to sit at that table and eat. And then, At some point before the bodies were discovered, that person simply walked away. No struggle, no trace, just an empty house, a warm stove, and 6 bodies in the barn. The case becomes one of the most talked about crimes in Germany. Police interviewed dozens of people. Over 100 suspects are named over the years. Local rumors point at a neighboring farmer with a grudge over property lines. Others suspect someone closer to the family, given how calmly the killer moved through their home afterward. A few theories point to more than one person involved, since managing a working farm alone for several days would not have been simple. But no one is ever charged. Physical evidence at the time is limited. The technology to properly analyze what's collected doesn't exist yet. Decades pass. In 2007, investigators exhume remains from the case and attempt modern DNA testing, hoping forensic science might finally answer a 90-year-old question. The results are inconclusive. The identity of the person who slept in Victoria's bed, ate at her table, and fed her family's cows after killing them all is never established. The farmhouse itself doesn't last much longer than the investigation. Locals consider it cursed. Sightseers and souvenir hunters picked the place apart in the following months. By 1923, authorities have it demolished completely. Today, a small memorial cross marks where it stood. The land is quiet again. It has been quiet for 100 years. Nobody knows who broke that silence in 1922 and stayed long enough to make himself at home in it. A century later, Hinterkaifeck remains one of Europe's most chilling unsolved murders, not just for the violence, but for what happened after it. A killer who didn't run, who lived inside the routine of a family they'd just destroyed. If cases like this pull at you, the pull is worth trusting. Subscribe for more true history you won't find in a textbook.